My mother's hands were shaking when she handed me the folder. I need your help, Kelsey, please. Inside were bank statements showing $90,000 gone. Just gone. I looked up at her tear-stained face, and for a second I almost felt sorry for her, until I remembered what she'd said to me 6 months ago when I was crying on the phone. 5 words that changed everything, and now she was asking me for $30,000. She had no idea what I was about to find out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and tell me where you're watching from. My name is Kelsey, and I'm 27 years old. I am a graphic designer working freelance in Charlotte, North Carolina. I make decent money now, but it took years to build my client base. Years of struggle, years of barely scraping by, years my family never acknowledged. I'm an only child, which should mean I got all the attention, all the support, all the love. It didn't work out that way. My parents divorced when I was 8. My dad moved to Oregon, remarried, started a new family, so I saw him twice a year, birthdays and Christmas. He sent child support checks. That was the extent of his involvement. My mom raised me alone, or raised is generous. She provided a roof and food, but emotionally, financially, practically, I was on my own. You're so independent, she'd say. You don't need me. I was 12 when she started saying that, 12 years old, and she genuinely believed it. When I needed help with homework, she said, figure it out. When I needed money for a field trip, she said, get a job. When I needed someone to talk to about friend drama, she said, I have my own problems. I got my first job at 14, babysitting, then retail at 16. I paid for my own phone, my own clothes, my own everything. My mom spent her money on herself, expensive dinners, weekend trips, designer bags. I work hard, she'd say. I deserve to enjoy my life. And I learned early, I was not part of that life. I was just someone who happened to live in her house. But that wasn't the worst part. The worst part came when I turned 18. 2 weeks after my high school graduation, my mom sat me down. You're an adult now, she said. It's time you started contributing. Okay, I said. How much do you want for rent? I'm thinking $600 a month plus half the utilities. I was making $11 an hour at Target, working part-time while trying to figure out college. $600 a month would take almost all my income. Mom, I can't afford that and save for college. Then don't go to college, get a full-time job. I want to get a degree. So get loans like everyone else. I can't support you forever, Kelsey. Forever. Like she'd been supporting me. Like I hadn't been buying my own clothes since I was 14. Like I hadn't been feeding myself half the time because she'd go out to dinner and not bring anything home. But I paid the rent, got a second job, started taking classes at community college part-time. I lived like that for 2 years. Exhausted, broke, barely surviving. And my mom, she went on cruises, posted photos on Facebook of beach vacations and fancy restaurants, while I ate ramen and worked 70-hour weeks. You're so responsible, she'd tell people. She's got her life together. Like it was a choice. Like I'd chosen this. When I was 21, I moved out, found a tiny studio apartment across town. It was cheaper than living with my mom. Quieter too. I thought moving out would improve our relationship, that maybe with some distance, she'd actually miss me, actually want to spend time with me. She didn't. I'd call her every week. Hey, Mom, want to grab dinner? I'm busy. Maybe coffee this weekend? I have plans. After 6 months of this, I stopped calling, waited to see how long it would take her to reach out. 3 months. It took 3 months for her to text me, and it wasn't, I miss you, or how are you? It was, can you watch my cat this weekend? I'm going to Miami. I didn't respond. She called. Kelsey, I need you to watch Princess. The kennel's too expensive. I haven't heard from you in 3 months, Mom. I've been busy. So can you do it or not? No. Seriously, it's just a weekend. Find someone else. She hung up on me, didn't speak to me for another 6 months, and I didn't know then, but I was about to need her more than I ever had. When I was 24, my freelance business was just starting to take off. I'd quit my retail jobs, was taking on design clients, making just enough to survive. Then my car died, completely died. Transmission failure, $3,500 to fix. More than the car was worth. I had $800 in my savings. Rent was due in a week. I needed a car to get to client meetings. I called my mom. Mom, I'm in a really bad spot. My car broke down and I can't afford to fix it. Can you help me out? Just a loan. I'll pay you back. Silence. How much do you need? Maybe $2,000, just to get a used car running. Kelsey, I can't just hand you $2,000. It's a loan. I'll pay you back within 6 months. I don't have that kind of money lying around. I thought about the photos from her Bahamas trip 2 months earlier, the designer purse she'd posted about last week, the new furniture in her living room. Mom, please, I'm desperate. I can't work without a car. She sighed. Kelsey, you're 24 years old. You need to figure this out yourself. I can't bail you out every time you have a problem. Every time. Like I'd ever asked her for help before. Like I was some irresponsible child constantly begging for money. I've never asked you for anything. And that's your choice. But you can't expect me to drop everything when you make bad financial decisions. Bad financial decisions? My car broke down. Then you should have been saving for emergencies instead of spending money on your little design business. My little design business was my career, the thing I'd built from nothing, with zero help from her. So you won't help me? Don't expect help from me, Kelsey. You wanted to be independent. This is what independence looks like. And she hung up. I sold my laptop to make rent. My laptop, the tool I needed for my design work, I borrowed a friend's computer for client projects, saved every penny. 3 months later, I had enough for a used car, a beat-up Honda with 180,000 miles. But it ran. I called my mom to tell her I'd figured it out, that I'd survived without her help. She didn't answer. I left a message. She never called back. 6 months after that, I saw on Facebook that she'd bought a new car, a brand new SUV, $45,000. She told me she couldn't afford to loan me $2,000. 6 months later, she bought a $45,000 car. I stopped following her on social media after that, stopped calling, stopped trying, and I thought the worst was behind me. I was wrong. Last month, I got a text from my mom. First contact in almost a year. Can we talk? It's important. I almost didn't respond. But curiosity got the better of me. What's going on? I need to see you. Can you come over? Just tell me what this is about. I'd rather do this in person. Against my better judgment, I drove to her house. She looked different. Older, tired. The confident, put-together woman I'd always known looked rattled. Thanks for coming, she said. We sat in her living room, the same living room where she'd told me to figure out my own problems. I'm in some financial trouble, she said. I waited. I made an investment. A friend recommended it. It seemed like a sure thing. High returns, low risk. My stomach dropped. I knew where this was going. How much? I asked. $90,000. I felt like I'd been punched. $90,000? Mom, what kind of investment? It was cryptocurrency, a private group. They promised 40% returns. Mom, that's a scam. I know that now, she snapped. But they were very convincing, professional. They had documents, testimonials. It's gone, isn't it? She nodded, started crying. All of it, my retirement savings, everything. And despite everything, I felt bad for her. For just a moment. She looked so small in that moment, broken. I'm scared, Kelsey, she whispered. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm 53 years old and I have nothing. She reached for my hand. I should have been smarter. I should have asked someone for advice. I should have... She trailed off, looked at me with genuine vulnerability. I've made so many mistakes. And for the first time in my adult life, I saw her as human, not as the mom who'd rejected me at every turn, but as a woman who'd made terrible decisions and was suffering for them. I almost hugged her, almost told her we'd figure it out together. But then she spoke again. I need to borrow $30,000. And the moment shattered. I stared at her. $30,000? I need it to cover my bills while I figure out what to do. My mortgage, my car payment. Mom, I don't have $30,000. But you're doing well, right? Your business is successful? I'm doing okay, but I don't have that kind of cash sitting around. But you could get it. A loan, maybe, or a loan. Mom, do you remember 3 years ago when I called you? She looked confused. When? When my car broke down, when I needed $2,000 and you told me not to expect help from you. Her face changed. Guilt. Then defensiveness. That was different. How? I was teaching you responsibility. You were abandoning me, and now you want me to give you 15 times what I asked for? Kelsey, I'm your mother. I raised you. You didn't raise me. You housed me. There's a difference. She stood up. I can't believe you're throwing that in my face when I'm in crisis. I was in crisis, and you hung up on me. I didn't have the money then. You bought a $45,000 car 6 months later. Silence. I need your help, she said quietly, and I needed yours. But you said no. So this is revenge? No. This is me being the person you taught me to be. Independent, self-reliant, someone who figures things out on their own. I stood up. Figure it out, Mom. And I left. She called me 17 times that night, left voicemails, crying, begging, angry. Kelsey, I'm going to lose my house. You're really going to let your mother end up homeless. I'm sorry I wasn't there for you, okay? I'm sorry, but I need you now. I listened to every voicemail, felt guilty, felt angry, felt confused. David, my boyfriend, found me crying on the couch. What's wrong? I told him everything. She wants you to give her $30,000, he said, after she refused to loan you $2,000. She's going to lose her house. That's not your responsibility. She's my mom. A mom who's treated you like crap your entire life. I know, but nothing. You don't owe her this. I knew he was right, but the guilt was crushing me, and I didn't know then, but I was about to discover something that would change everything. 2 days later, my mom showed up at my apartment unannounced. We need to talk, she said. I'm working. Kelsey, please, 5 minutes. I let her in. I've been thinking about what you said, she started, and you're right, I wasn't there for you. I should have helped you when you needed it. I waited, but I need you to understand something, that $90,000 wasn't just my retirement, it was money I'd been saving to give to you. My heart stopped. What? I was building a nest egg for you, for your future. I was going to give it to you when you turned 30, but then this investment opportunity came up and I thought I could double it. You're lying. I'm not. I've been saving for you. Mom, stop. You've never saved anything for me in your life. That's not true. Yes, it is. You charged me rent when I was 18. You wouldn't loan me $2,000 for a car. You've spent every dollar you've ever made on yourself. She started crying again. I was trying to make it up to you. I was trying to give you something by gambling it away on a crypto scam. She didn't answer, just kept crying, and that's when I saw it. On the coffee table behind her, a folder, slightly open. I could see the letterhead. Luxury Retreats International. What's that? I asked, pointing. She turned. Nothing. I walked over and grabbed it. She tried to stop me. Kelsey, don't. Inside were confirmation documents for a 2-week trip to Bali, booked 3 months ago, $8,500, departing in 6 weeks. I looked at her. You booked a trip to Bali? That was before 3 months ago. You booked this 3 months ago, before you lost the money. I was going to cancel. It's non-refundable. She looked away. You spent $8,500 on a vacation and then you invested $90,000 in a scam. And now you're asking me for $30,000. I made mistakes. You're still making them. The trip is in 6 weeks. You're planning to go. I need a break. This has been so stressful. I started laughing. Not because it was funny, because it was absurd. Get out, I said. Kelsey, get out of my apartment. She grabbed the folder and left. And I stood there shaking, because that wasn't even the worst part. The next day, I got a call from someone I hadn't spoken to in years. My aunt, my mom's sister. Kelsey, I heard about your mom's situation. Word travels fast. She called me asking for money too. I wasn't surprised. Did you give her any? No, because I know the truth. What truth? The $90,000 she lost. It wasn't all hers. My stomach dropped. What do you mean? Your grandmother, your mom's mother, died 2 years ago. I know. Mom didn't even tell me until after the funeral. Yeah, well, your grandmother left money to be split between your mom and me, $50,000 each. Okay, but she also left $15,000 specifically for you. For your education, your mom was supposed to give it to you when you finished college. I couldn't breathe. What? Your mom never told you? No. She was the executor. She was supposed to transfer it to an account for you. Did she ever do that? I've never seen a penny. My aunt was quiet. Kelsey, I think your mom used that money in her investment scheme. The ground fell out from under me. She stole my inheritance. I can't prove it, but the timing matches up, and she's been dodging my questions about it. I hung up. Called my mom immediately. Did you steal my inheritance from Grandma? Silence. Kelsey, did you take the $15,000 Grandma left me and invest it in your crypto scam? More silence. I was going to pay you back. With the returns, you stole from me. I borrowed it. I was going to give you even more. You stole from me. That money was mine. Grandma left it to me and you took it. Kelsey, please. I hung up and I made a decision. I sat with this information for 2 days, barely ate, barely slept, just thought. David kept asking what I was going to do. You could sue her, he said. She's my mom. She stole from you. I knew he was right. But part of me still felt guilty. She was struggling. She was desperate. Maybe I should just let it go. But then I remembered being 24, selling my laptop to make rent, begging her for help and being told to figure it out myself. While she was sitting on $15,000 of my money my grandmother had left specifically for me. And I remembered her showing up at my door, crying, asking for $30,000 while having an $8,500 vacation booked. I thought about letting it go, about being the bigger person, but then I remembered something my grandmother had told me before she died. Your mother has made a lot of mistakes, Kelsey, but you don't have to carry her consequences. And I called a lawyer. I need to sue my mother for misappropriation of inheritance funds, I told the attorney. She listened to the whole story, took notes. Do you have documentation of the inheritance? My aunt does. She was co-executor. She has copies of the will and the distribution documents. And your mother never gave you the $15,000. Never told me it existed. Did she admit to using it? On the phone, yes. She said she borrowed it for the investment, that she was going to pay me back. The lawyer nodded. You have a strong case. This is conversion, unauthorized use of funds. We can sue for the full amount, plus interest and legal fees. How long will it take? If she doesn't contest it, a few months. If she fights, could be a year or more. Will she have to pay? If we win, yes. We can put a lien on her house if necessary. A lien on her house. The house she was terrified of losing. I thought about it, about whether I really wanted to do this. Then I thought about her hanging up on me when I was crying and desperate, about her booking an $8,500 vacation while asking me for $30,000, about her stealing my grandmother's gift to me. File it, I said. My mom was served with papers a week later. She called me immediately, screaming, "You're suing me? Your own mother? You stole from me. I didn't steal. I was going to pay you back." When? After you got back from Bali. Silence. You went through my things. They were sitting on your coffee table. Kelsey, I'm about to lose everything, and you're going to take more from me? I'm taking back what's mine, what Grandma left me, what you had no right to touch. I'm your mother! Then act like it. Act like you care about anyone other than yourself. She was crying now. I needed that money. So did I. When my car broke down, when I called you begging for help, but you told me to figure it out. That was different. No, it wasn't. You've always put yourself first. Always. And I'm done paying for it. If you go through with this, I'll lose my house. Then you should have thought of that before you stole from me. Kelsey, please. I hung up, and I didn't feel guilty anymore. 2 weeks later, my aunt called again. Kelsey, I need to tell you something else. My stomach dropped. What now? I've been going through your grandmother's papers more carefully, and I found something. What? Your grandmother left another letter, sealed, addressed to you, with instructions that it should only be opened if your mother failed to give you the inheritance. Where is it? I'm mailing it to you now. 3 days later, the letter arrived. I sat on my couch holding the envelope, my grandmother's handwriting on the front. For Kelsey. To be opened only if needed. I opened it. My dearest Kelsey, if you're reading this, it means your mother has failed you again. I'm sorry, sweetheart. I hoped she would do the right thing for once. The $15,000 I left you was meant to help you build your life. I know your mother hasn't supported you the way she should have. I know she's put herself first your entire life. I tried to protect you by making the inheritance separate from hers. But knowing your mother, she may have found a way to take it anyway. If she did, I want you to know, you owe her nothing, not your money, not your forgiveness, not your guilt. You've built a beautiful life despite her. Because of your own strength and resilience, don't let her take that from you too. I love you, I'm proud of you, and I'm sorry I can't be there to protect you anymore. All my love, Grandma. I read it 3 times, cried through all of them, and then I took a photo of it. Sent it to my lawyer. Include this in the filing. My mother settled 2 months later. She couldn't afford to fight it, couldn't afford a lawyer. She agreed to pay me back the full $15,000, plus $3,000 in interest and legal fees, $18,000 total. She had to take out a loan against her house to do it, the house she'd been so worried about losing. The money was transferred to my account on a Tuesday. I stared at the balance. $18,000. It should have felt like a victory, but mostly it just felt sad. My mother sent me one email after the settlement. Kelsey, I hope you're happy. You got your money and I got exactly what I deserved. I'm sorry for everything, for not being there when you needed me, for taking what wasn't mine, for being a terrible mother. I don't expect you to forgive me, but I needed you to know. I'm sorry. Mom. I didn't respond. What was there to say? 6 months later, David and I were having dinner. Have you heard from your mom? He asked. No. How do you feel about that? I thought about it. I feel free. And I meant it. I'm sitting in my apartment right now. The same apartment where my mom showed up begging for money. I used the $18,000 to build an emergency fund, the kind of safety net I never had growing up, the kind my mom never provided. I think about her sometimes. Wonder if she ever canceled that Bali trip, if she learned anything from losing everything, if she regrets the choices she made. But mostly, I don't think about her at all. Because I learned something important through all of this. You can't make people care about you. You can't force them to see your worth. You can't sacrifice yourself trying to earn love from people who were never going to give it. My mom said, don't expect help from me when I was desperate, then expected help from me when she was desperate. And I gave her exactly what she'd taught me. Nothing, not because I wanted revenge, but because I finally understood my worth. The $15,000 my grandmother left me wasn't just money. It was a message that I mattered to someone, that I deserved to be taken care of, that my future was worth investing in. My mom tried to take that from me, but she couldn't. Because the real inheritance my grandmother left me wasn't the money. It was the knowledge that I deserved better, and I finally believe it. My mom asked me for a loan after losing $90,000. I said no, not to punish her, but to protect myself, and that felt like freedom.